Hi, and welcome. My name is Carrie, and I am here to talk about all things parenting. So, I know how hard parenting is. It's like really, really, really hard. So, I'm here to help support you in your parenting journey. Going to be providing tips and tricks, just information to understand your child better, learn how to communicate with your child better, and really just create a better relationship with you and your child. So, have you ever had this dynamic? You keep telling your child, you can't climb on that. Quit climbing on that. Stop climbing on that. Only to have them continue climbing on that. Maybe it's the counter, maybe it's the coffee table, whatever it is. Whatever you keep telling your child to not do, they just keep doing. That can be really annoying and frustrating as a parent because you're thinking, why won't they listen to me? They keep doing the opposite of what I've just told them not to do, and they're so defiant. Well, I like to say learning to communicate with children is like learning a foreign language. And what do I mean by that? Well, children interpret language differently than we do. They are very, very literal. Take, for example, when my son was about 4, he was walking different than normal. And so I asked him, do your shoes hurt? And he looked at me and he said, no, but my feet do. So thankfully he clarified that his feet do hurt. I wasn't clear in my question. Obviously, I meant, do your feet hurt? So he could have just said no, and I would have thought his shoes were fine. Same thing comes with how they interpret when we're giving a command. So our brain does not interpret the negative. So if I say, don't think of a purple elephant. Did you think of a purple elephant? Probably, because what your brain heard was, think of a purple elephant. As an adult, like if I gave you an action, like don't run, you probably would hear the run and then, oh, she said don't run, and you wouldn't run. A child just hears run and then they run. Or don't climb on that. Guess what they're going to do? Climb on that. I had a dad once tell me he was so frustrated because he literally told his 11-year-old, don't walk on that. And the 11-year-old walked on that. Then the dad was frustrated. The 11-year-old was frustrated because he's thinking, I just did what my dad told me to do. So if you actually step back and reframe it to what is the can do? Do you want the child to do? Not what do you want them not to do, but what do you want them to do? What do I mean by that? That is, walk please. Put your feet on the ground. Stand over here or walk over here instead of don't walk on that, walk over here. Don't go on the street. If we say that, they hear go on the street. So instead you say stay on the grass, please. So it's just giving the child a can do. We've said, I'm sure before you might have said, don't hit or we don't hit, which is noble because you're trying to teach your child to be kind. Really what the child thinks is, well, obviously you don't hit, but I do. I don't know if you saw me. I'm really good at it. Let me show you. And then they hit and then we get frustrated. So instead you can say, what can they hit instead? I'm not for hitting. You can hit that or that. You can hit the pillow or the couch. Hitting hurts. Hitting's not kind. You give them the value base on it, but what you really want to start with is, what is the can do? Oh, you can hit the couch. I'm not for hitting. You can walk. Or turn things into fun and play. A lot of the stuff we'll be talking about is really creating that, again, positive connection, but you can do it through fun and play. My favorite thing to do with my children when they were younger was we played red light, green light. And we did that at home, but then I transferred it over out into public. So they knew red light meant stop. So we'd be sitting at a red light. I would say, what happens when the light turns red? Stop. What happens when it turns green? Sorry, means go. What happens when it's yellow? Slow down. So then I would say, okay, so when we're out, green light means run. Green light means go. You can run as fast as you can. Yellow light means slow, walking feet. And red light means stop. So then when we were out in public, I could say green light, and they would run. I would yell red light, they would stop. I could say yellow light if I was catching up to them. But they saw it as a game versus me yelling, stop, don't, which they usually tune out. So turning it into a game made it more fun. And I did tell him, you know what happens if you don't stop at a red light? They said, what? And I'm like, you get a ticket. And when you get a ticket, you have to take 10 steps backwards. So that was kind of a fun part of the game. And then it all became like I could, if they didn't stop, okay, you're going to get a ticket. And then they would stop. So really thinking through, what am I communicating to my child? How am I communicating to my child? And can I reframe it into positive and tell them what the can do is? So stay tuned for more tips and tricks. Try these things out with your child. Let me know how it goes. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.